I received the letter on a rainy Thursday afternoon. It was unexpected. No return address, just my name written in a shaky hand. The paper inside smelled of dust and old memories. Come visit, even missed you. You still remember where to find me, right? Millvale never changes. Adrian, a name I hadn't heard in nearly 15 years. We were best friends as kids, but one day he just vanished. No goodbye, no moving trucks, just gone. His house remained locked, his parents unreachable, and the local rumors faded over time like whispers caught in wind. But what haunted me most, I couldn't remember where Millvale was. And that was strange, because I knew I'd been there. I'd visited his hometown many times. I remembered the forest trails, the crooked church steeple, even the weird stone fountain in the middle of the square. But when I opened Google Maps, nothing, no Millvale. I tried Apple Maps, then Bing, then old cartography sites, nothing. I typed, Millvale town near Pennsylvania with an old chapel. Still nothing. No Wikipedia page, no population data, no news reports. But the creepiest part, when I posted on Reddit asking, does anyone know of a town called Millvale? The replies poured in, I grew up there. My grandparents lived in Millvale. The school had this creepy mural in the hallway, remember? Dozens, even hundreds of people from all over the world claimed to know the town. Yet not a single person could pin it on a map. It didn't make sense. Until one user messaged me privately, Millvale doesn't show up, but it shows itself when it wants to. And then he sent me coordinates. Not town coordinates, just a pin in the middle of the forest about 4 hours from where I lived. The drive was uncomfortable. The sky stayed gray, even though weather apps showed clear. No signal for most of the journey. The roads were cracked, overgrown, and for the last 20 minutes, no other cars at all. Just trees and silence. Eventually, I reached a small wooden sign on the side of the road. It was worn, tilted slightly, as if time itself had tried to erase it. Welcome to Millvale. Est 1886. Mauskin Piklid. This town was not supposed to exist. And yet, there it was. Rows of houses, old buildings, people walking, children playing, shops open. Everything looked normal, but it felt wrong. The first person I spoke to was a gas station clerk. Mid-40s, buzz-cut, blank expression. Hey, I asked, is this Millvale? He looked at me slowly, like I just said something forbidden, then smiled. It's always been Millvale. Chills ran down my spine. I pushed further. You know someone named Adrian? Adrian Miller? The smile didn't fade, but his eyes stopped blinking. Everyone knows Adrian. He never left. Then he went back to counting something that didn't exist in his hand. I stepped outside, trying to catch my breath. The air here, it smelled sweet, too sweet, like flowers and something rotting beneath. I wandered through the town. Everyone seemed to notice me, like it didn't belong. Like I was the only person they hadn't seen in a long, long time. I found the church I remembered with the crooked steeple, but when I peeked inside, the pews were empty and the candles were all burning. No one was there, but I heard whispers. Latin maybe. Next, I reached the town square. The same stone fountain stood in the center, but this time the water ran black. Children played nearby, their laughter oddly synchronized, and when I got closer, they all stopped, turned, and stared at me. Eyes blank, smiles wide. All at once, they said. I backed away slowly. Something about this place felt like a dream, but not a good one. A recurring nightmare, dressed as nostalgia. Then finally, I saw it. Adrian's house, same chipped paint, same red door, but when I walked up the steps, the door opened on its own. Inside it was dark, too dark for the daylight outside. And then from somewhere in the shadows, I heard him, a voice, calm, familiar. Took you long enough. I froze. That voice, it hadn't aged, exactly as I remembered it from when we were 12. But deeper now. Calm, too calm. Adrian, I whispered into the dark hallway. A silhouette appeared at the far end, backlit by a single flickering bulb. He stepped forward. Some messy air, some crooked grin, but his eyes, they were dull, lifeless, like glass marbles reflecting nothing at all. You came back, he said, stepping closer. I nodded slowly. Where have you been all these years? He smiled wider. Here, I never left. None of us did. Something about the way he said none of us made my stomach turn. He gestured for me to sit. The living room was just like I remembered, except the furniture looked too clean, preserved. No dust, no smell. Like the house had been waiting. As I sat, he stared at me for a while, unblinking. Then he asked, "You remember the rule?" I frowned. What rule? The rule of Millvale. I shook my head. If you leave once, you don't come back. His grin faded. Unless you're called. My chest tightened. I didn't come on my own, I said. You sent the letter. He tilted his head. Did I? He reached into his pocket and pulled out a crumpled note. My handwriting. You called me. I stood up, heart pounding. This is some kind of trick. He laughed softly. You don't get it. You were never supposed to remember Millvale. That's the town's gift. It erases itself from minds. You only remembered because something here still needs you. What does that mean? I asked. His face darkened. Millvale doesn't want you to leave again. Suddenly the lights flickered. The shadows in the room grew deeper, longer, reaching toward me. Then a knock on the door. 3 slow knocks. Adrian stood still. Paul, don't answer that, he whispered. The knocking came again, but this time it wasn't on the front door. It was on every door, every wall, the sound of fists pounding from all sides of the house. I backed away, panicked. What's going on? He stared at the floor. They know you're here. Who? The ones who never left, the ones who tried to leave. Suddenly, the walls began bleeding, thick black liquid seeping from the cracks, smelling of iron and rot. Adrian grabbed my arm. We have to go. Now, we burst out the back door into the cold night. Except it wasn't night a second ago. The sun was gone, the sky starless. No moon, just pitch black and whispers. The town had changed. The houses were now burnt out shells. The people I saw earlier, gone, or something worse. In the distance, the church bell rang, but the steeple was gone. Adrian was muttering to himself as we ran. They saw you, you never should have come. He led me down an alley and into an old diner. Inside, it was completely untouched, chrome counters, neon signs, even a jukebox humming a static-filled 50s tune. We crouched behind the counter, breathing hard. Then, silence. Adrian looked at me, panicked. They'll offer you a deal. Don't take it. Before I could ask what he meant, the front door creaked open. Footsteps, slow, deliberate. A figure entered, wearing a long black coat. No face, just an outline, like its features were erased from reality. It walked toward us, and then spoke. You left once, now you must choose. Stay forever, or let someone else take your place. I turned to Adrian. He was crying. I'm sorry, he said. I thought you'd understand. I thought you'd remember. What are you talking about? I made my choice a long time ago. I gave them your name. I stared at Adrian. You gave them my name? He couldn't look me in the eye. I didn't mean to. I was just a kid. They offered me a way out. Said they needed someone in my place. I wrote your name. I thought it was a dream. I thought you'd forget Millvale like everyone else, but he didn't. Because Millvale remembered me. The faceless figure moved closer. Its presence pulled the warmth out of the room. It raised a hand, skinless, colorless, and opened its palm. In it was a key, old, rusted, with my name etched on it. "Choose," it whispered. "Stay, or pass the key." I backed away. I didn't ask for this. Adrian was crying now. "If you don't take the deal, they'll take everything." "Who?" I asked. "Your friends, your family. They'll just disappear, like this town, like I did." I looked at the key, then at Adrian. "No, I won't trade someone else for me." The figure didn't react. It simply stepped back and dissolved into black mist. The dynamites exploded. The floor cracked open. The last thing I heard was Adrian screaming, "Run!" But it was too late. When I opened my eyes, I was in my car, back on the same highway. No sign of the town, no fog, no detour, just clean road and blue sky. I rushed back to the city, to my apartment. Everything looked normal until I walked past the mirror and saw something that didn't belong. My reflection blinked twice, but he hadn't. That night, I got a call, unknown number. I picked it up expecting static. Instead, a familiar voice whispered, "You left, but Millvale is inside you now." Then silence. The next morning, I checked the mirror again. My reflection smiled. It didn't. I tried to talk to people about Millvale. No one had heard of it. Even Google Maps showed no record. The letter Adrian sent? Gone. My photos from the trip? Blurry black mess. But sometimes, when the night is too quiet, he had a knock, and I know they're waiting for my answer. You can leave Millvale, but it never leaves you.